Internet! Welcome to Two and a Half Brains, our weekly discussion of the latest episode of Survivor Season 40, Episode 10. Breaking it all down, discussing everything that happened, everything went good, bad, and ugly this week. A lot to talk about, some fun stuff, some not so fun stuff, and we're going to break it all down. Be sure to subscribe so you get all the updates. We'll have our Masked Singer show coming out soon too, so you don't miss that. Get the Masked Singer show. Get that in your updates, in your feeds. Tell your friends to subscribe and spread the word. Also, you can like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Pavement Road Productions. Pavement Road Productions on Facebook. Also, you can email the show pavementroadproductions@gmail.com and tweet me directly at YoGrabAGabba. Let me know what you think and what your take is. I'd love to read them on air and get your feedback. Let us know if you're liking it, if you're not liking it. Whatever the case may be. Let's go ahead before we get too far down the line here. Let's go ahead and bring Jessica in. And Jessica will go ahead and be the other half of the Two and a Half Brains here.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Tilt the screen down.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
Thank you.
Good call. So, let's talk about the latest episode. What do you think about it overall?
Well, family episodes always kill me. They're major tearjerkers, and I cry every time, and I cannot stop. I like it though. I always love the family episode. I love seeing the people coming in and talking about the family twist. It was a crazy episode, crazy tribal. It was good though.
Cool.
Overall, it was very good.
Cool. So, how do people find you on Twitter?
JustT820.
Cool. So, let's go ahead and start off. Obviously, we talk about the three ones that matter. We talk about the person who did not survive, and then the top three and bottom three. It's always a little bit controversial, always a debate or discussion, and who should be where and why, and who's in a good spot, who's not in a good spot. Sometimes it's more of a overall where they fit. Sometimes it's just this episode thing, and sometimes you could even say a lot of times it's just based on our opinion. Was the move good? Was the move bad? Are they in a good spot now? Are they in a bad spot now? It could be either, but sometimes we have to just kind of put them on paper and and see what comes out, and there'll be times where I'm like, I think this person's in the bottom three, and then they'll be in the top three just because of talking through it, so. But we'll go ahead and start off here with three moments that mattered. The moment of the week, and it's basically just talking about overarching storylines of this episode, or even how they overarch the whole series, or whatever the case may be. Before we do that, do you have anything else to add?
Did you say debate before debater?
Yeah, debater. Master.
Are you a master debater?
Masterful. I am the master debater, like that book.
Alright. I have nothing else.
Okay. Awesome. Let's start with three moments that mattered. Moment number one is...
family fun.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
The tearjerker. So instead of them having to compete to see their family, everyone got to spend time with their family all day. Even everybody on the edge of extinction, which was great. It was so nice because, I don't know many of the people there. Even with Ben, though, I don't know his family. I saw Wendell's dad before, but it was really cool to see basically everyone's family except Tyson only had his one daughter there.
Mm-hmm. And his wife, obviously, Rachel.
His wife. But it was cool. It was nice. They all got to see where these people all spent most of their time when they were away from them, and got to experience with them, and talk to each other's families and all hang out. And it was really cool. I liked it a lot. Yeah,
so it was way more than they usually allow them.
Yeah.
And instead of having a challenge, they let everybody just hang out.
It's a whole big thing of returning players that are all quote unquote number one, so it's nice that they gave them that. Yeah,
so Rob and Amber's 4 girls were there. Mm-hmm. Tony is his 2 kids, his wife. Jeremy his wife and 4 kids. So yeah. It was really neat. Sarah and her boyfriend and
a
baby.
Full beach.
For sure. Yeah, it was neat. It was a little bit of a pulling back the curtain a little bit. But I said it didn't provide anything strategically or really even provide any drama really for the episode, because it was all just everybody hanging out.
Yeah, what Sarah said, her son was interacting with the enemy's children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, even for the Edge that got to see their families, I think that they did that to give them a boost to want to play harder again, remind them why they're there, and probably give them new energy. So that's probably why they allowed them to see it too.
Yeah, and it was way early. I mean, day 24, they never do it day 24. I mean, they've done it as late as like day 37 and 38 before.
I'm sure there's a reason they did it so early this season. You never know with the Edge twist, and since the Edge is so different for this season versus last one.
Yeah, it didn't. I think at this point, since everybody was gonna see them anyways, they might as well just do it earlier because what's the difference, right? Nobody's gonna miss out on it.
I mean, Sandra's the only one that left, so yeah.
So
that sucks for her though. Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Her family couldn't come visit her on the island.
I don't know if her husband's still in the military though. He may not. He may be deployed. Like now.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, I mean, obviously her kid or kids could come.
Right.
But yeah, so it was definitely fun. It was definitely a unique experience, but didn't provide much to the actual episode. It was just a human moment, which I would have been happier if they just did it over one segment instead of two.
I guess.
But
you wanted to see more gameplay, but
yeah,
it was a pretty action-packed gameplay, anyways.
And Tribal was. I mean, Jeff didn't even ask any questions. Tribal was like, all right, we're here. All right, what do I talk about? All right, cool, let's go about. Oh, now you're gonna talk to each other. Okay, cool.
I feel like you asked like 2 questions and then things just kind of blew up.
Yeah. It was really condensed, but it was you got a lot of bang for your buck for sure. Well, we can talk about the next part then if you want, unless you have anything else. Cool. What's next?
Mini Advantage Geddon.
Yeah, the Mini Advantage Geddon. So last time Sarah played, we had the Advantage Geddon, the idle train, if you will. It was there was final 6. And Sarah actually got the most votes in that travel. Actually, she got 3 votes, and the next person, and there's a 3-2-1 vote split, which Sri is famous for, and Sri probably would have won the game had that happened, the way it was designed to happen. But Ty stood up, played out for himself and for Aubrey, and then Brad already had immunity from winning immunity, and then Sarah got up and played her legacy advantage. Then Troy then played his advantage, and 5 people left. 5 people had immunity. 6 people from the game. 3 goes home. It was pretty ridiculous. This wasn't quite that, but there were still 3 advantages. I think 3 was right. There was an idol,
3, steal a vote, and then
safety without power, and steal a vote. Yeah. So tell me about that. What kind of break down for me? What kind of happened?
Well, the funniest part was Sarah and Jeremy both sang at the same time, Jeff, and then they'd both stop at a stalemate because no one wants to go first. And then Jeff says, okay, let's go vote, and they do it again. And then finally, Jeremy jumps up and gives his, what was it called?
Safety without power.
Safety without power, so he leaves. And then Sarah plays her steal a vote, and then Kim plays her idol on Denise. And then everyone scrambles and talks and has to figure out who they're voting for and what the plan is.
Well, it's crazy because, so it starts off like, all right, and then you get to, and then Jeremy and Sarah were like, yep, and then Jeremy's like, ladies first, and Sarah's like, nope, and then we'll sit there, you're just like, okay, so I guess we're not ready. And like, are we ready to vote then? Yep. Hey, Jeff? And then they both like, we'll stand up. He goes, yep. It was, all right, never mind. Yeah, because it was stalemate. It was battle of wits. Who's gonna play their advantage first? And then Sarah's like, all right, I'm ready to vote. Fine, let's go. And then they're like, all right, ready to vote? And Jeremy's like, nope. And he plays his safety without power, gets up and leaves tribal, doesn't get a chance to vote. And it was controversial because they were talking about it looked like it was gonna be like a 5-5 vote possibly.
Yeah.
So Jeremy got up and left because he knew he was being targeted and he didn't have an idol. All he had was that. So his being immune meant that he couldn't vote either, right? So they needed his vote for the 5-5 vote, and he's like, "What if the votes come back on me? I'm not I'm gonna get out of it. I'm gonna use this advantage while I have a chance."
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to save himself, but then his team couldn't vote anyways. His team needed his vote, and they couldn't get it.
Right.
So then once he played it, Jeremy was gone. He was gonna be the target. So they all got and kind of talked. And then Sarah said, though, she goes, well, I'm going to steal Denise's vote then. So Jeremy leaves. Sarah steals Denise's vote. And gets the vote twice. And then they're all talking to see because Jeremy was definitely the target.
Right.
And once he left tribal, they know where to go. Mm-hmm. So they were talking about it, and then the other three got together, and they said, and who was it, Sarah or Sophie said, "What, the 5 of us should talk?" I think it was Sophie, wasn't it?
Sophie says, "Yeah, if I want to get up and just make a decision."
Yeah, and then it was and then the other three, who was it? Tyson,
Denise, and Kim.
Tyson, Denise, and Kim. Yeah, we're talking about where they want to throw their votes. But obviously Denise couldn't vote then. And then they all voted, and Kim came back with her idol, and was like, "Well, where do I play it?" And she ended up throwing it on Denise. Mm-hmm. So it was 3 advantages used, and that kind of, I mean, it is a bit of a mini advantage getting because a lot of advantages are played, but it also does kind of happen that way a lot too, where as soon as one person breaks that seal on the advantages, all of them come flying out, right? I mean, there's still 2 advantages that we know of, I think, right, or 1, just 1, just Sophie's idol.
Sophie's idol.
Is that it?
Don't think there's anything else out there at this point.
Yeah, and then of course they had the immunity challenge that Tony won. He had 2 fire tokens, so we'll see if that plays a role. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all but 1 advantage looks like was spent then. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot happens, and then we kind of see where it shakes out. But it's not uncommon, and it's getting more and more common that as soon as an advantage is played, everyone's like, well, since you play your advantage, I'm not going to get caught with outplaying mine, so I gotta play mine, and then it kind of forces other players to play their tricks, even maybe if they don't want to. It was like Sarah, for example, had to steal a vote from her first season, and Sari tried to literally steal her steal vote. So I'm gonna use it and steal Sarah's vote, blah blah blah. And Sarah said, "No, you can't do that." And then Sari, and it was a whole read the fine print. Non-transferable advantage, blah blah blah. So Sarah said, "Well, since I almost lost this advantage, I'm just gonna play it now," and just kind of threw it out and played it. Kind of didn't really need it, but just played it to get rid of it at that point.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of happens a lot too. I think it kind of gets to like, hey, there's advantages flying out here. I'm just gonna get rid of mine because maybe they know something I don't. It kind of one thing kind of leads to another, I guess.
Yeah. Shakes people's feeling of safety.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously Jeremy does his and leaves. So now it looks like 5-4, and then Sarah steals Denise's vote, and then Kim plays out for Denise. Mm-hmm. So anything else on that? Or I'll move on to the next section.
No, I can move on.
All right. So what's next?
Back to the edge.
Back to the edge for whom?
Mr. Tyson. I always confuse them. Tony Tyson. They're both T's.
Both Tyon. Yeah.
Tyson back. Tyson gets voted out.
Yeah, so Tyson gets sent back to the edge. An emotional episode for him too.
Yeah.
For pretty much everybody, I guess. But so it came down that, and I was really kind of surprised. Wasn't really sure what was going on here. They didn't show any of the Tyson returning the edge of extinction, and they didn't show the votes.
Right.
Tyson didn't have any fire tokens to give, so whatever. He got voted out here. I think it was just the Poker Lions ended up coming back together, brought in Denise, because Denise and Jeremy are close.
Yeah.
Once Jeremy left, it was kind of a fall apart type thing, and Tyson gets voted out for the second time this episode, and the 4th time in his career.
I really didn't think they were going to go after him.
No, I didn't either. I think that's kind of why they did.
Yeah.
Right, because you're like, well, if the idol's going to be played, Kim has it. She's probably not playing Tyson. Maybe she'll play on Denise. So they kind of had Tyson there as like the one to go for.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that a little more later in a minute here, because obviously I think the player of the week really sussed this out well, and I was really confused by how it went down. But looking at how the actual votes broke down, based on I think it was the Fire Wiki showed how the votes broke down, it made a lot more sense now. Now that I saw it that way, but so Tyson gets voted out again. He certainly could come back again.
Could.
Wouldn't shock me in the least. So I hope they will bring somebody back earlier. I don't think they will. According to this, I think what's going to happen is going to be a vote next week. It's down the final 8. And then a vote the week after, get down to the final 7. And then a double episode, get down to the final 5. 2 votes, the 2 hour, the final 5. Then brings them back to the final 6 at the finale. That seems like the trajectory they're on. So
yeah, but the Edge, like I said, has more value to the game than the last time they did it. So
yeah,
the people on there are still kind of building a resume.
Yeah, I said. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be really hard to see that person wins the game from the Edge. I mean, unless it's like, I mean, somebody like if Tyson wins his way back in again. You know, he's basically at the point he will have been in the game more than he was out of the game.
Yeah.
So maybe but I don't see it. I don't see Rob getting the votes, and he's probably the most likely to win coming back from the Edge. Natalie would be incredible, but she was first out. Like, and she's been out since.
Yeah.
If she comes back in day 37, plays 6 days of Survivor, that's worse than Chris.
Yeah, she found a lot of stuff though on the island
Yeah.
to send out for people to kind of mess with the game. Still had her alliances on there.
Certainly, still had an impact, no doubt. And if Jeremy's there, or whatever, who knows what will happen. But I just don't see. I've been wrong before, but I don't see it. I don't see somebody from the Edge winning the way back in, winning the way back in and win the game. Jeremy said it in the pregame or whatever. He said that he doesn't see anybody getting voted to win the game who got voted out already.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see if Tyson did come back. I mean, I think odds on favorites right now would be once again Natalie, Tyson, or Rob. Nothing's really changed.
Yeah.
I mean, Yule maybe. Adam's not the threat to get back in. I mean, no Danny or Amber. So, Ozzy did it. Ozzy got voted out his season at the merge. Came back the next week because they brought him back to the merge. Came back, got voted out again like 2 weeks later, and then came back to the finale and they voted out again. So the record getting voted out one season is 3. Tyson's at 2, so he's vying for that record.
It's possible.
So, but yeah, sent the same guy back who was there a couple weeks ago. I wouldn't have gone to the episode thinking Tyson was a threat to go.
Yeah.
But things kind of broke down that way, and you wouldn't expect to see three advantages used and one trial either. So, what do you think?
Probably should move on to the next topic because
Cool.
we already started talking about it.
So who did not survive?
Tyson.
So Tyson did not survive. He came back. He could still come back again.
Yeah.
But Tyson did not survive. What did he do wrong? What was his flaw, would you say, this week? Why was it Tyson? Why did Tyson end up being the guy to get clipped?
I feel like it was probably just an easy pick out of everybody. Between Tyson or Kim, Denise had the idol played on her, so Michelle's not a threat to anybody. She obviously is just one to go with whatever crowd that fits her. But, I don't know, a big reason could be because he came back. They don't want him to win, and he isn't too bad at individual immunity. He was doing really good at the one today, and
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to kind of pinpoint what he did wrong. I think a couple things. I think it was one, that alliance that he was with, kind of made himself a target a little bit. 2, yeah, he's a good challenge competitor and a good immunity threat, so he definitely could win an immunity and a couple in a row and really change things around. Also, if you think about it, right, I think I could be completely wrong. I could be just assigning more credit than is due, but I think the brain trust of the majority alliance right now is really doing a good job. Because you think about it, right? The only thing that could really screw up their plans heavily is an idol played correctly.
yeah.
Who's least likely to have an idol? The person who just got back from the Edge of Extinction.
Right.
Right? The people who've been in the game the whole time, for example, Sophie knows Kim had an idol. So it's like, well, we know Kim has an idol, so let's not throw the votes on Kim.
Yeah.
She is more likely to play for Denise than she is for Tyson.
Yeah.
Or Denise is more likely to have an idol of her own because she already had 2. So,
True.
you know what I mean? So I think that's the thing. Tyson's obviously a threat. Physical threat, good challenges. He's got good relationships for the most part, but he's not like super in anybody's main. I mean, he's not like the focal point of anybody's group. He's kind of on the edge, on the periphery a little bit, and he's least likely to have an idol, have everyone play on him.
Yeah.
And once you take control of this, like I said, if that 5 is going to the end or 6, whatever it is going to the end together, they got to get the majority at this vote. And so getting rid of, they have to make sure they get, now they have 6-3 advantage, they can split the votes the rest of the way and be fine. Right? But it's got to, they had to get the right person out this week.
Yeah.
And Tyson was the most likely one to not have another play on him, not have one himself, and he's a physical threat. And again, he's a social strategic threat as well. So you're taking out a threat, maybe not the number one threat, but once you have the numbers on your side and you have the majority, or in this case, a supermajority, you can start taking out the people you really, really want to get out because now you have the numbers to do so. Right. You have to get the numbers first, and I think that's kind of what this vote was all about: getting the numbers on their side and running with it. And I think that's what I think Tyson didn't really do a ton wrong. It just he had to do what he had to do, and unfortunately he was in a tough spot.
Yeah.
So I'm back down to 5 now on my team.
Way.
So 9 left, 5 of them are mine. You have Ben left, holding you strong.
I have one person. Yeah.
And Vivek has Jeremy, Michelle, and Team TV. So I have my thoughts who's going to go next, but we'll say that for right now. So let's go ahead and talk about, unless you have anything else on Tyson.
No.
Let's talk about the top 3 and bottom 3. Start with the bottom 3. Who's in the bottom 3?
Michelle.
So, in the further review, Michelle actually did vote correctly. She voted for Tyson. And voted Tyson out of the game. How do I know that? Because I looked it up. Okay. Was Michelle a focal point of this episode? No. Has she been a focal point of most episodes? No.
One.
Yeah, really one. Why is Michelle in the bottom 3? She did vote correctly. Why is she in the bottom 3?
She has really no chance of winning. She's just they go with the majority, like I said before.
And that's
she's just gonna vote to keep her in until they decide to get rid of her because she's not a threat.
Or she goes in and loses. I think it's even more likely.
Yeah.
She was kind of like that her season. Mm-hmm. She went to the end, but I think this is going to be. I mean, the jury that season, and you can't. I mean, I'm not on the mind of the winner didn't deserve to win. The winner deserved to win because the winner won, and that is what it is.
You wouldn't have to talk yourself into it.
You wouldn't have to talk myself into it because I have to. And when I do that, it's I'm finding a way to say, well, how? Mm-hmm. I'm rationalizing how, right? Aubrey played the better game than Michelle in Aubrey's season, but Michelle's jury was an old school jury who respected old school gameplay. Mm-hmm. That was Michelle. They respected Michelle. Aubrey was flashy, and strategic and making moves, and all that stuff. Michelle was an old school game, and her jury respected old school gameplay. I don't think this jury will.
No.
I think this jury will want to see people make moves. And I think Michelle was really the last person to play Survivor and win with an old school game. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, Adam Klein was next. He definitely didn't play old school. Mm-hmm. Sarah definitely didn't play old school. Ben definitely didn't play old school. Wendell a little bit more so, but it was the Wendell Dom show. And then Nick definitely was an old school, and then so on and so forth, right? Mm-hmm. So I think Michelle was really the last of the old school, be nice, win a couple challenges, and that type of thing. And I just don't think, I think she's doing the same thing that won her the game last time, but I don't think it will work this time. Mm-hmm. Even if she gets to the end, I don't think the jury's gonna say, "Well, we like you, Michelle, so we're gonna give you the money." I don't see that.
Yeah.
So she might be in a fine spot, and I think honestly she's in a wonderful spot to go to the end and lose. I respect her. I think she's a better winner than she gets credit for. Mm-hmm. But I just don't think even if she's in the core 3 alliance, I think she gets the third most respect of the core 3 alliance. Right? If it's her and 2 other people who are running the game, I think she gets the third most respect in that group. I think she gets 0 votes out of that group.
Yeah.
I think she just is not actively in control. Nobody really even knows where she stands. Mm-hmm. She's just kind of going with the flow, and that's great to get to yourself to the end. And that's Sandra's game, but there's a more nuance to Sandra's game than that, and it's just not. It's not a winning strategy this season.
Sandra would have lasted a little longer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. I mean, so what do you think about Michelle? Anything else to kind of add to that, or?
No, she's kind of there right now. She doesn't get all that much attention anymore because Wendell's out.
Yeah.
So that made good TV.
That was her whole storyline.
Besides that, it's not much fun.
That was her whole storyline. I said, I mean, and I think she's a better winner than she gets credit for. And I think she's a better Survivor player than she gets credit for. But I think she's falling into that mold where it was like Troyzan on Sarah's season. Troyzan is a super duper duper fan. I mean, he is a huge fan of the game. He's watched every episode. He knows everything there is to know about Survivor. And he got to the end of the game playing the way he tried to play this first season. And he didn't make it to the end. He did the same thing basically the second season, but the game had evolved so much that they didn't respect his game. Right? I mean, he basically was trying to be, the kind of the shit stirrer a little bit, and that he got to the end like, wow, you didn't even play the game Tarzan. And he kind of did, but he was just so overshadowed. And, he's not, I think part of being a Survivor winner too is you have to be kind of loud. You have to be loud. You have to put a target on yourself, but then they have to miss.
Yeah.
Right? And Michelle is not getting a target on her back at all.
Mm-hmm.
But, so they're not aiming at her. So she's not, it's not a winning game she's playing. I mean, it could change. She could go, next week and just do something crazy. Go find an idol and idol out the best player in the game, then take control and be the figurehead of the alliance that takes control.
Mm-hmm.
Is she going to do that? Probably not. But she could. She still has a shot. But as of right now, she's primed to go to the end and lose.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I agree.
What do you think? What else? Who's next on the list there?
Kim.
So why is Kim on the bottom three?
I mean, she's not really playing a winning game either. She did try to make a move that backfired on her, but that is also because one person that they were relying on walked away and abandoned them. So she's not in a really good position because, I mean, the final five, I guess, or the five group is there.
Mm-hmm.
They already declared themselves a tribal. So it's kind of hard for anybody, I guess, on the outskirts probably to break into that because I don't think they'll trust her.
Yeah, so with Kim, she kind of wanted to bring back the... I think what Kim did is smart. She's like, well, I need to make a move because I'm kind of just floating through and, it's not a bad idea to wait till the final 10, final 9, final 8, make a move late in the game, and then you take control late before, by the time everyone realizes that you're in control, it's too late. Right? You don't want to make a move in final 13.
No.
It's too many people left. Too much, track left.
Mm.
But if you make a move late, later, you can get control and maintain it long enough to win.
Yeah.
So Kim's like, well, I haven't really made much moves yet, but now it's the time.
Mm.
So she made a move. And to her credit, she realized, hey, I need to make a move, so she did it. It just didn't work.
Yep.
And now she stepped out of the shadow to make a move, and it's going to get the heat for making the move, because people are going to be looking at her now because she made a move, and you get another credit because it didn't work.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that's where Kim is at now, and that's why she's in a bad spot. I don't necessarily think she's next. She could be, but she showed that, it's like if she would have not made a move, she actually would have been in a better spot. But she made a move that could have won her the game, but instead, since it didn't work out, she's now in a worse spot. What do you think?
She wasted her idol, and
100%.
I think they'll call that out for her if she made it to the final 3.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's no point in doing it. You're better off just keeping your idol at that point. There was nothing that was going to save you.
Right. So it's like yeah, well, that's true. That's
one loyalty of somebody that is out of the final, or not. I don't want to say final 5. You won loyalty by playing on Denise, but Denise is not in that group of 5.
In the power position.
So why would you do that?
Well, I think it was kind of like how when we talk about like Nick's season, Nick Wilson, when he won, when the Davids had all the advantages, and they had to kind of blow them all in one to kind of get the numbers back on their side. I think that's what Kim intended to do. I think what she planned.
Of course, but Jeremy left, so at that point she didn't have to play her idol. There was no way they were going to get the numbers.
Unless the entire tribe
voted for Denise.
She threw it on Denise, idled out Sophie, splitting out Sarah and Sophie, causing a rift there maybe, and then Jeremy comes back in. Now you can maybe pull somebody else in, and now you can get the numbers. So it was kind of one of those things where if you want to, for Kim, it's like it was getting late for her to make a impact move with the idol, right? Because if to make an impact move with the idol, you have to play the idol when there's enough people left to be able to swing the numbers. So that's what she tried to do. It just too many things went against it, and so she ended up blowing. So it was like either make a big impact move with your idol and change the game, or just hang on to it and save yourself one more vote.
I mean, like I said, Kim should have convinced Jeremy and said that she was going to play it on Jeremy because most of them knew that he was going to get voted for anyways. He could have saved his, whatever it's called, advantage.
Yeah.
She could have played the idol on him, and then every single vote would have been on him, and all their votes would have counted for whoever they wanted it to be.
So you're right, and that would have probably been the best move. The only question is now, all that heat on Jeremy, is that intentional now be on the other side to get them to play it on Jeremy, then they throw it on Denise. So it could, it's a multi-level, game strategy there. So you're right. I think the best move would have been that.
Yeah.
I think that would have been the best move.
I mean, that's who the other side were pretty much gunning for to vote for anyways.
Yeah.
And that obviously all changed after he got up, and it because of how they had to get up and talk.
Right. Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
So I just think that would have been the better move.
So Kim says, hold your salt, vote with us, I will throw my idol on you.
Yeah.
And that way, and
they could have taken the numbers.
And then they could have had that been the way it all shook out, for sure. Interesting. It's definitely, I think you're right. I think Kim was a little bit relying on Jeremy holding on, not
right.
folding.
As soon as they knew that he could have left, that would have been my move.
Yeah.
To throw my idol on him so he would stay.
And even if you wasted, at least you wasted it keeping him around, and he can still vote.
To try and get the numbers. Right. Exactly.
For sure. I think it was the right move. It just didn't work out, and she didn't really have. I mean, maybe she did try to convince Jeremy. We didn't see it, but it just didn't. It didn't pan out that way. So Kim tried her best, showed that she has still got it, but it didn't work in her favor this time. So, who is the last person in the bottom three, I should say?
Jeremy.
So yeah, obviously Jeremy. Yeah. Jeremy was number one last week, and Jeremy, I think if he survives this vote, he's still got a real good shot to win.
Yeah.
I think the heat's on him now. If he can get the heat off of him onto somebody else, find idol, win immunity, something. I think he can slip back under the radar and maybe get a couple more targets in his face. I think this is the key vote for Jeremy.
I just feel like everything changed so much from one episode to the next because he was working with Ben, who Ben works with Sarah and Sophie, and they were all working together. Then they get rid of Wendell, and then Jeremy voted for Wendell also, and all of a sudden Jeremy says that he has no allies and doesn't want to work with Ben and them. I don't understand. He might not have seen what happened. I don't know. But he could be working with the numbers still.
Yeah.
They would have accepted him, I think, until something must have happened.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think. I mean, if you look at the last Tribal Council, I think you're completely right. Last Tribal Council, it was Adam who got clipped. I feel like it would have been, it could have been a Nick or a Michelle because those were the ones who were kind of with Wendell. So you pick off Adam because Adam's not with anybody, and you pick off the other two that were with Wendell, and now you got the final 8, whatever it is, with all the people still in charge. I just think when Jeremy said to Tony or Ben or both, we need to break up Sarah and Sophie. Tony needs to protect his number one ally, in Sarah, so he turns it on Jeremy, right? So Jeremy basically tried to make a move as well, and he just trusted the wrong person. It's a typical Survivor mistake.
Yeah, I mean, Ben wouldn't have been on board for it either, though, so it would have been a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder to separate those two unless Tony and Ben realize that they need to get rid of one of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
But they're close, and they're close with their allies, so I don't think it's really going to happen. I don't know.
I feel like I may have overestimated Jeremy's stock in the game. Do you think that's possible? I mean, do you think... Because I've been saying everybody likes Jeremy, everyone wants to work with Jeremy. Do they?
That's what they show.
It seems that way. It seems like everyone wants to work with Jeremy. But now
They did, but not
they-
anymore. Not
Right.
since they started going after who their closest allies were.
right. So that's the thing, right? He said we need to take out like Sophie because I want, or we need to take out
My
Nick.
ally should be your ally, so then you have to deal with it.
Right. So he's like, we got to take out Nick because Nick and Wendell are close. I'll be close with Wendell. So I get rid of Wendell. And now Jeremy was kind of, his number one ally was kind of fractured off. So he's like, okay, so now let me go. I need a new number one. So
But
and it was Michelle, but Michelle was close with Wendell. So now it's kind of like,
It's just still weird though because Ben was trying to be Jeremy's number one, and they could have been still even after Wendell left.
Yeah.
So he could have had one. Not, I guess, who his first pick was, but he still would have had somebody.
Ben's playing kind of a confusing game a little bit. I don't really know who he's really. I mean, he's close. I think that's the thing else too. I think he's close with Sarah and Sophie too. And I think it's him, and he's in the mindset of, hey, the more threats in the game, the longer the better. And Jeremy's trying to take out a threat, and so now Jeremy's a threat to me.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where that broke down, and
I feel like Jeremy's always been a threat to him.
Jeremy's
though.
a huge threat, and Jeremy does threat to everybody. Jeremy's got one of the shots to win the game of anybody. But I think it's kind of like, well, if we have 4 threats here, and one of these people trying to take out one of the 4 threats, get rid of the one who's trying to break up the status quo, because the status quo is good for people in control. And when the person tries to break off from that, that's a problem. I think Jeremy tried to make a move this week again, like kind of like Kim did. Tried to make a move, it didn't work, and he had to save himself. By saving himself, he abandoned his allies. So I don't know. He's definitely going to do a ton of damage control.
Yeah.
I could see. I mean, if people wanted to, Kim and Denise could say screw you, Jeremy, and it could be an 8-1 vote next week. I'll get Jeremy. It definitely could be. I don't think it will be. And I think if Jeremy can find a way to finagle his way out of this vote next week, I think he's going to be back as one of the top threats to win the game.
Yeah.
But he tried to make a move, and I think it was not. I think Jeremy's best bet is just get to the end. I think if he can just, yes, they cut off a couple of his allies, but I think he just needs to get to the end. If he gets to the end and he's in control, I think the rest is history.
Yeah.
So I have to say that. But he definitely saved him. He did the thing that I don't like with the idol, right? If Kim would held the idol, played at the final 6, and saved herself one more vote to be voted out 5th, that's stupid. That's the way I look at it, right? It's like why play your idol to get yourself one more spot? Play your idol when it can impact the course of the game, right?
Right.
Jeremy just did that with his power. He's like, I'm going to save myself this vote, but it's just save myself one more vote. That's all it's doing.
Yeah.
It's like blindsiding your allies by pulling out an idol. You don't really want to do that. You want to be able to use it to better yourself and your alliance.
Yeah.
And he definitely didn't do that.
No. He ran out.
He made the selfish decision. And guess what? Survivor, sometimes you have to make the selfish decision. You have to. If he can maneuver this and get himself back in a good spot, then great. It was worth it. Because it's a fine line between surviving and taking control of the game. We have to do both. But timing is important. Sometimes you have to just survive. Sometimes you have to take control.
Yeah.
And Jeremy decided this week just to survive. And if he can, fix that and get back in control, great. But if not, I think he's outnumbered quickly.
Yeah.
What else?
Top 3.
Let's go to top 3. Let's take top 3. Number 3. Who is that?
Tony.
Vlachos. Yeah, welcome to top 3, Tony.
Temporarily.
Greek god Tony Vlachos, top 3. What? Why?
Well, he won immunity.
That helps.
He got 2 fire tokens.
That helps.
He helped orchestrate the vote for that, for Jeremy.
Yep.
Obviously, it broke apart, not of his own fault, but he had some pull in the game this week.
It's funny. He talked about how he won a challenge based on patience, which is not something he's good at.
His first challenge ever.
The first meeting win ever. So good job, Tony. Yep. And it's funny, the way they showed Jeremy this week was that he was kind of over scheming, right? He wanted to talk to everybody. He wanted to make a move. That's Tony's game. That's Tony's game. And Tony has been so chill this season. It's very surprising.
He's grown up.
I mean, yeah, that was 5 years ago when he played Spyro. He was growing up then too.
5 years can really change someone, apparently.
I guess. I mean, he did play. Honestly, he played on 34 also. So that was 3 years
How
ago.
old's his kid?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I know.
Children changer.
Yeah, for sure. And he's I think Jeremy. I think Tony's gonna go kind of crazy next week, and I think you can't contain the beast too long.
It's funny when he runs up and down the beach, kind of like trying to scheme.
He's a crazy man. I think the thing right now with is Jeremy was doing what Tony does. The best thing that can happen for Jeremy is Tony starts going crazy and putting her himself.
Yeah.
Tony is right now. He's in the core alliance.
Mm-hmm.
He's close with Sarah, who's close with Sophie, right?
Yeah.
Who's close with Ben.
Yeah.
And that's 4, and then they have Nick, right? So that
could have Michelle.
Nick could have Michelle, right? So that's kind of, I think Michelle's kind of going wherever Nick goes, so Nick can kind of sway things too.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought Jeremy was close with Nick. I guess he's not. I guess he's close with Ben or
Jeremy. Jeremy was never close.
No, I mean Nick. Who's? I mean, I don't know who, because Nick, like
Nick isn't close with anybody.
It didn't seem like it, but on the Adam vote, somebody talked him off the ledge, right? So somebody brought him back in. I don't know who that was though. Was that Ben? Was that Tony? I don't know.
I thought it was Michelle.
Okay, then who's talking to Michelle? Right? It's hard to kind of.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, so who controls those two people?
Michelle talks to Jeremy though.
Okay, but then
they were close for a time. Jeremy was talking to Ben. They all agreed on Adam.
Yeah, it's kind of really hard to see who's actually pulling the strings. But right now, Tony is in a good spot because he's in the Power Alliance. He isn't getting the best winner edit in the world. He certainly could win, but I think he's kind of needs to break off from that alliance, make a move, and betray Cops R Us again. So I think he's getting outmaneuvered. But it's going to depend on who has actually control of all the pieces. If Sarah and Sophie are actually controlling the game, then it really doesn't matter what Tony does. If they're not really controlling the game, and Tony, and there's connective tissue there that can be separated, then he's got a shot to do something. But I don't know. He's in a better spot than he was, and he's in the right now the majority alliance.
Yeah.
Depends on how long that goes. Tony doesn't like to stay with one alliance too long. Even when he won the game, every odd number he flipped.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So, coming up is going to be final 9, which is an odd number, which Tony seems like to flip an odd number. So.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to flip. He hasn't really been sane the entire game.
No, he's been holding it together, but barely. And I think he's at the point now where it's like, I better make a move because I'm playing a game where I'm gonna, I'm not gonna win if I get to the end.
Yeah.
And as it's currently assembled, so but again, if he gets to the end, there's the 6 biggest threats are left in the game, and he's in the top 6. He's got a shot, but it's right, exactly. It's
not that much of a shot. He's there.
It's so hard because he's kind of in the laurel spot, right, where if I flip on these guys, I lose. If I stay with them, I lose. So what do? I kind of feel like that's kind of where Tony's right now. He's not drawing dead, but he needs to scoop up like Nick and Michelle basically and go down with them. That's really his only shot.
Yeah, but he needs numbers to get there.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So he needs the threats. He needs his allies who are the threats, and the people he can beat are not the people he's aligned with.
Yeah.
So he's really in kind of a catch-22. I think that's why Tony's days are actually numbered, because I think he's going to try to do something crazy to switch things, and it's going to blow up in his face like it does often. But for as of right now, Tony's in a good spot because he's in the Power Alliance. I don't think he'll stay there, but he is right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Waiting for him to go into his hut again.
Yeah, the Spy Shack for sure. Love Shack, baby. Yeah. So who's next in the top 3?
He keeps moving around and around.
Yeah, indeed.
Denise.
Tony's nuts, right?
Huh? Yeah, Tony's nuts, exactly.
Okay. No, Tony is nuts, and Tony is nuts, and everything else. Okay. So Denise Stapley. Denise is number 2. So she was and the wrong side of the vote, and didn't even get a chance to vote this week, how is she in the top 2?
Because she got saved by an idol for no reason, really, and she should be a threat because she took Sandra out. But everybody's kind of pushing that fact to the side still, even though at one point they were all calling it out, saying that she's a threat because she got rid of the queen. And now they're just kind of like saving her. Still.
She would. So here's what I think is crazy. She played 2 idols, saved Jeremy, got rid of Sandra. With Sandra's idol. She then gets her vote stolen. Isn't the primary vote of the majority alliance, and Kim values her enough to play an idol on her. Mm-hmm. So why?
I'm not really sure. It's not like she has tons of ties to the other alliance.
I don't really understand.
I don't think Denise can sway anybody on the other side to come over.
Really not. She's close with Jeremy,
yeah,
and she was close with Adam.
Yeah.
But she kicked Adam to Kirk because he was already that way anyways. But since she's close with Jeremy, I've just played the idol. I remember that. But why? Like I know. If I'm Kim, Denise is my ally, sure. Mm-hmm. But why not just let Denise go and save and use your idol somewhere else? Because you want to, put it this way, you want to save somebody who's A, loyal to you, and B, you can beat. Mm-hmm. She's more loyal to Jeremy, and you can't beat her.
Right, and being in alliance with her doesn't mean you're pulling in more people.
No.
You want to pull in an alliance that has other alliances to pull everybody in together.
Correct. So they're keeping Denise because she's not well connected, I guess. But Denise is gonna win. If Denise gets the final 3, she's got a damn good shot to win.
Yeah, I guess it's the whole keep a bigger target around than me.
I guess, but Denise isn't like an overt target. She's very quiet. She plays a quiet game.
It was just the only big move that she made that can.
And it's the biggest move of the game, probably still.
Big resume builder.
It's still probably the biggest move of the game.
It's probably gonna be the biggest move of the whole game.
Oh, for sure. So why are you keeping her in the game? And as I'm saying, Denise is like just shouldn't be in the game. They should have targeted her because of the whole Sandra thing, mm-hmm. But they're not, and they're even spending idols to keep her in the game. And all she needs to do is get to the end at this point. And she's got a real good chance. So I don't know what she's doing mm-hmm. to make people want to keep her in the game. But it's like you're gonna win if you get to the end.
Yeah.
But I want to keep you in the game.
Right.
It's like. Yes, there's bigger threats out there than her, bigger voices, but it doesn't mean that. I just don't know, and that's why I think she's actually, she could go home next too. She's in the bottom of the numbers, but it doesn't seem like anybody's really going after her. Yeah, she got the backup splash votes on her, mm-hmm. But unless they target her because she's in the minority alliance, I see them taking out Kim and Jeremy before Denise, don't you?
Yeah.
And Denise is the biggest threat, maybe, of all 3.
And I guess they figure if they can pick off Jeremy and Kim, then it'd be pretty easy to get rid of Denise anyways.
Yeah, and that's true, and that could definitely still happen. I just think it's too much is going to switch between us. Too many things are going to shift. Denise is going to keep ducking and weaving, and they're be trying to take her out to take out the people around her, and then she'll disappear and reemerge at the final 3. You know what I mean? And now you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
Again, Denise may not win. Denise will probably get taken out before then. But it's just like it's crazy to me that she's such a huge threat, and her allies are instead of letting her go because she's a big threat, her allies are going out of the way to help her stay in the game, even though she's gonna beat them. I don't know. It's crazy to me, and she's not in a great spot, but could definitely win, and is staying in the game. Mm-hmm. Somehow, and it just doesn't. It's baffling to me. I don't know what.
No power of her own usually is how something good happens.
A lot of times, yeah. And I said when she won the game last time, she just was very tight with a couple people. Mm-hmm. Went to the end, final 4 with them. Voted out the one she was closest with, and was the only one left standing who had a viable case. Mm-hmm. And and it's she's never has been. She's very social, very likable. And never has been the person who's going to be in your face, she's not a Tony. She's not even a Jeremy. It just plays under the radar, and people don't take her threat level seriously, and they sure as hell should. She's a great player. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying she's in a good spot. I don't think she's even my top couple picks to win the game, but she's still in the game, and is still being underestimated somehow, and they're underestimating her at their own risk for sure. So, anyways, let's wrap up here. Who is the player of the week this week?
Sarah
Lacina. So the reason I'm saying Sarah Lacina is the player of the week is because I was very confused by the vote initially. The vote stealing Denise's vote. But apparently, she knew Michelle was with her. So with Michelle being with her, she steals Denise's vote. It's now, they can throw, 5 votes? Because Jeremy left, so it's not, yeah. So they can throw 5 votes on Tyson. And now the only ones voting against them are Kim and Tyson.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, Kim and Tyson vote for Sophie, and Tyson plays an idol. Or Kim plays an idol on Tyson, says Tyson. Well, then Sarah stole Denise's vote to use one for Tyson and one for Denise in case Tyson plays an idol, canceling out the 5 votes. Now it's 2-2, and they just revote and get rid of Denise.
Right.
So that was actually a really, really smart move because they only needed 2. I thought they were going to need at least 3 because I thought Sophie was going to need at least 3 votes because one from Michelle, one from Kim, and one from Tyson.
Yeah.
But Michelle jumped over to their side, and so then it was 5. It was 7 on 3, but only 2 were able to vote. So all I needed was that one extra vote to swing the tide and make sure that worst case scenario they play the idol correctly, and you still vote out somebody from their side on the revote. So that stealing Denise's vote gave them the supermajority they needed to be able to split the votes and still guarantee that they got out a target, even if it wasn't their main target.
Right.
So I was very confused by that. That doesn't make sense. Now you're just getting rid of, you're voting 2 on Denise. It doesn't help you, but it did because 2 votes were going on Sophie, 2 were going on Denise, the rest were going on Tyson, and it was the actual perfect backup plan to get rid of Denise if Tyson played the idol, or get rid of Tyson if he didn't play the idol.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know if Sarah saw that on her own. I don't know, but Sophie could have been whispering in her ear, "Hey, do this," because Sophie's very, very smart too, and there's plenty of smart players out there who could have come up with that idea. But it was Sarah's move. It's going to be Sarah's move, and if she can explain that at the final tribal, that's definitely a huge resume builder for her. So that's again, maybe that's what all that discussion was about too. Maybe it's like, hey, let's throw one vote here, whatever, and maybe that's what the discussion was about. Maybe it wasn't even about selecting a new target. Maybe it was just about, hey, how can we split this vote now? So I don't know, but definitely a good move by Sarah, and congratulations to her for taking possibly. If things go the way they continue to go, taking control of the game at least down the final 5.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts?
No, I'm curious to see if anybody's secretly working with Michelle that they haven't showed on the show or something.
Yeah, I wonder who Michelle's aligned with. It's hard to. It seems like her and Nick are the only 2 working together. But why is Nick going with Ben and Tony and them as opposed to with Jeremy? You think he'd be wanting to work closer with Jeremy because Jeremy's close to Wendell? But then, of course, Jeremy was targeting Nick, so maybe that's why.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's exciting though when it gets like that though. I like when Jeremy's first season or last season, the season he won was 2 people here, 3 here, 2 here, 1 there. And it was just like, okay, well, where's that 3 gonna vote and that 2 and that 1 gonna vote, and they could all be voting differently, and it's really interesting to see where it all breaks down. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm liking that it's like it's a bunch of pairs voting together.
Right.
And they could vote this way this week and vote differently next week, and it just matter whichever way it fits them at the time. It's not a big block of 6 or 7 or 8. It's a pair. It's a trio. It's another pair. So that's, and then they're not going to be aligned too closely with anything because they're what's good for this duo in the 7 may not be good for this duo in the 7.
Right.
And so they split up and do their own thing.
Right.
So that's always much more exciting than a tight alliances suck in Survivor because they just stick together and pick off the people who aren't with them. So I'd much rather have a one or two close people that then stick together because then that way they can move and shift around. So any other thoughts on that?
No, I think that's everything.
I think we went way over our time, but It was a fun episode. It was a lot of strategy to kind of break down, even though it was only really half of the episode of strategy. That's the family stuff. But they definitely packed on that half hour. So
yeah, a lot happened.
Excited to see what happens. We're excited to see how the next couple weeks go and where we end up because I can see there's a winner's path for several people, and we're gonna see. I think the next 2-3 votes are gonna be critical to who's winning this game. So let's get down to the nitty gritty, and somebody's about to be $2 million richer in about a month.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other thoughts?
I think that's it.
How do people find you on Twitter?
Just T820.
Yep, you can find me on Twitter as well. Yo Grab a Gabba, just T820 on Twitter. Yo Grab a Gabba on Twitter. Subscribe to get all the updates. Let us know what you think. Tell your friends. Email the show pavementproductions@gmail.com, facebook.com/pavementproductions. Stay tuned soon in the next day or so for the Masked Singer show. Jessica's been rocking with that. We've been getting lots of positive feedback. I get all the hate sheets of the feedback, so keep that coming. And I'm really excited to see how things go, both on the Masked Singer next episode and on Survivor. Thank you for your effort and for your time.
You're welcome.
And I will talk to you all later. Subscribe so you don't miss anything. And I got nothing else for you right now because the tribe has spoken.